be starting now the final part of the demonstration today, which is split wave and timeline maps. Okay, so I know that this is a pretty long session and I have been showing you so many functionalities, but most of these are relatively new, and that's why we thought that these are things that you should be familiar with. Okay, so let us move on to the last part. Let me share my screen. So I will select a thematic map here, right? And I will select the indicator immunization group, and the indicator is BCG coverage. Okay, and the period, when I am selecting the period, let me show you something interesting. So the period type is relative, and period I will select last 12 months, like this. Okay, so usually what we do is we so far we have selected this single, right? But we will do something different. We will select something called split map view, right? I'm going to select split map view, and the org unit, I will just select training land at district level, right? The rest I will keep as default. So only change I did is when I'm selecting the period type, I selected split map view, right? That's all what I did. So I have done that. Now let me click on add layer and see what happens. I click on add layer, and this is what I am seeing, right? So let me just select ping so that I get a nice overlap. Right. So what are we seeing here? Here it is a split map view, because if you can remember, when I was defining the period type, I defined it as split map for the last 12 months. So basically what we see here is the entire screen is split into 12, and I'm seeing, right, the map of each layer. I can even zoom in, zoom out, but what happens is it just zooms as a one group, right? Each of the months I am able to see. So this is September, October, November, February, January. Likewise, I can see, right? So I can zoom in and out like this nicely. And whenever I'm trying to move each of the layer, it moves as a whole like this. And we are able to see. Okay. So this is what we mean by split map view, which is a nice visualization when we want to compare what has happened across different period types, and all to be viewed in one screen. Okay, right. So let me just show you one more thing, and with that I think we can of course come to an end of the demonstration. So that is the next feature which was available. I go to click on edit and I move on to period, and I'm selecting. We have showed what happens in single, split map, and finally timeline. Are there any questions? Yeah, what happens when we download? Let me show you. Let me download, right? Name, of course, because we have not saved, it is not showing. I just do it like this, and I click on download, right? And it will come, and this is, let me share that screen and show you what it is, what it looks like this. This is how it looks like. So all 12, all period types are coming on one screen. Right, let me share the screen again. And let me show you the final component for the demonstration today, which is again something to do with the period here. And I will click on timeline. So I assume all of you all are familiar with timeline. So basically timeline is a visualization where the x-axis will basically be the category dimension that you saw when you were doing the graphs, right? So x-axis is a time dimension, and we'll be able to move along the x-axis so that we can see what has happened and at different periods of time. So to show you, let me select timeline and I click on update, and this is what I see. Can you all see? So let me zoom out a bit. So this is the training land, and you can see this bar here, which is the timeline. So it starts from September last year, and it goes all the way up to September this year. So how we can navigate is now what is loaded currently is the graph of September last year, right? The map. And if I click on manually click here, it will load the map for October. If I click on November, it will load the map for November. So likewise, I can just manually click and view it. And in addition, the other cool thing is if you click on this play button here, the play button here, just observe what happens. I click on play and you will see that it just shifts from time to time and the visualization changes. Like a movie, it will be shifting the timeline and you will be able to see the changes. So this is so nice. For example, if you want to show, say, corona cases, COVID-19 cases across last 6 months, if you have a spot map in your country, you can nicely show it, how it expanded over the last 6 months as a movie clip that you can do. So this is also again another very cool feature in the new version of DHIS2. And this is not the end. There are a lot more new features to come in future. And stay tuned. If you check our DHIS2 community, we will frequently update you what we will be planning to introduce in the next versions. So that's it about the demonstration on DHIS2 maps. It's a very long demonstration, the longest session in our entire academy, I assume. So I hope I was not too fast, not too slow, and hope you
Amod,
understand everything. Yeah, any queries? Yes.
sorry for interrupting. I think we
Yeah,
lost you somewhere in between. So this last part, when we're having
yes.
this
Okay.
timeline demonstrated, can you please repeat
Yeah,
that?
yeah, sure, sure. Sorry about that.
Yep,
Okay, so
sure.
right now I'm audible, right?
Yes, yes, it's
Yes.
exactly
Okay.
fine now.
So
Yep.
let me click. Let me show you what I did. So what I did was previously I started off from here, which is of course split map view. So what I did was I click on edit button on the same thematic layer. I click on edit button and I went to period dimension, and the only thing I changed was timeline. I selected timeline and I clicked on update. So once I did that, this is what I see. So let us focus on what we are seeing. I will just zoom out so that it will be very clear. So you are seeing this bar right at the bottom of your screen, which has the time dimension for last 12 months, right? So we start off here with September 2019, and it goes off, goes all the way to August 2019, right? So now, right now, you see this dark grid portion highlighted, which is in fact suggesting us that the data for September 2019 is what is loaded and displayed here. If I click here manually, you will see what is loaded here is the data for October 2019, right? So likewise, I can go on manually clicking each of these periods and the respective map will appear here. Another cool thing is that rather than manually clicking, if you just click on this play button here, right here, it will start automatically playing and showing you the situation on a map based on the time that it represents here. And it will run automatically from here all the way up to here, right? So I was also telling you that this may be a nice application if you want to say, for example, show the progression of coronavirus cases as a spot map in your country, right? How it expanded and all. It's a nice visualization. So there are so many, I mean, endless applications of using this feature in DHIS2. Right, so that's all what I have about maps. Are there any questions? I hope that I was clear enough.
Yeah, I think there are some questions regarding that GeoJSON download that we were talking about. So when we have
Yeah.
a series kind of data, and when we have multiple months there on the chart, so I don't think that is based on my knowledge. But is it true that we can download all of that in a GeoJSON and then use it likewise, or is it just 1 month's that data that gets downloaded?
Yeah, good question, Varun. No, it's just one series of. So basically, like for example, the timeline, as far as I am aware, this timeline and the split map is not supported, but I have to check it. That's what I vaguely remember. So it's just basically whatever I have demonstrated up to the timeline. So it's just a snapshot that you can download. Just a snapshot. So it may be if you are considering about the entire year, it will be for the year, not in a month wise. You can't just take it like that. Whatever visualization that is loaded. So if I want to see a monthly visualization for the last 12 months, if I just because when we are selecting period type in the single period format, that only loads up one period, right? So that's the data that you can export, not as in the timeline that but I have to check on it.
Yeah, thanks. I hope that answers questions which were raised by Sosia and you, Ruan, I think.
All right.
Thanks. And yes,
Okay.
Devendra, we can definitely add it to the dashboard. I'm not sure about the split view. I don't think we can add a
No.
split view, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
just
yeah.
that single map that we can place there. Yeah, thanks.